So gain some bit of the knowledge so that you are able to get rid of this fear of failure, at least from the knowledge perspective. So mistakes made by generations before us may be leading to consequences for us right now. The fear of failure, I'm going to talk about this today, is a disease that destroys progress, and it destroys the success and progress of a lot of bright and young people and even companies, basically preventing them from growing, making the right decisions, and advancing. And personally speaking, I struggle with this a lot myself. So this is something that I'm talking about for myself, for my own benefit. I want to talk about today 3 reasons for it and how to prevent the fear of failure and how to prevent it from being a problem or a hindrance, right? That's the problem. This is partially because there is already so much fear of failure, and this failure has been ingrained in us since childhood. And for decades now, every child needs to get a trophy or a participation certificate, right? Everybody needs to be acknowledged. That's what we have been doing since, I believe, the 1980s, right? In many schools, actually, these days, there are no further grades, especially at the lower levels. And there's no more rankings anymore. I grew up where there was a ranking. Okay, who's the first, second, third kid in class, right? So does this lead to our kids not really experiencing loss or failure? And does that translate for their life to be scared of trying or to be scared of basically failure, right? So mistakes made by generations before us may be leading to consequences for us right now. And one of this is, of course, the youth's weakness in decision-making abilities, primarily because of the fear of failing. So why are they actually afraid of failing, and how can this fear of failure be reduced? Let's talk about this today. First, failure is to be feared. I do believe that. You don't want to fail, right? Failure in itself, I agree, is not a pleasurable thing to go through. I agree with that. However, most failures actually instruct us towards a path of more success in life. And just to quote what is the motto of the Silicon Valley, that is to fail fast so that you know what works and what does not work. Another aspect about failure is that why they actually do occur, and can you even possibly mitigate them or prevent them from happening? And the biggest and the most common reason is the lack of information. That could be both from the basics that you need to know about on the project that you are looking to work on, or it could be because you did not have the knowledge that you needed to acquire through failure, is of course because you never obtained that bit of education that needs to come from the process of failure. Because you may be afraid to travel because you don't know what is ahead. You don't know how to book properly, or that is a country that you've never been before, or nobody actually goes there. So you feel failure because you don't have an understanding of that problem. And when you do something without fear, the chances of failing do decrease. So gain some bit of the knowledge so that you are able to get rid of this fear of failure, at least from the knowledge perspective. And that's the same thing when you fear people because you despise people, or you fear them because you actually have never talked to them, or actually never want to know the reason for their personal viewpoints, and whether it's something political or anything else, right? You may hate the other party. You may be a Republican or a Democrat. You don't want to talk to anybody else, or you think they're all up to destroy the American way of life or whatever, right? But it may just be that you don't know what they're talking about. Maybe there is a common ground, something in the middle. So I would suggest that pick up that book, watch that YouTube channel that may be having opposing views to what you want to, what you think about. And whatever it is that you fear, try to gather as much information about it as possible. But of course, action, 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 and action is the best remedy for fear of failure. Secondly, I do believe that you do need mentoring and professional and true advice for those who have actually been there in the footsteps that you are looking to follow, and who have already experienced what you're looking to experience. However, what I have seen is that what's happening here is that people are teaching entrepreneurship and subjects in schools, colleges, and universities who actually don't have relatable entrepreneurial experience. They will either teach by looking at the syllabus, or looking at some PowerPoint presentation, or downloading something from the internet and regurgitate something they have prepared, and that may not be something that comes from real experience on the ground, and that is where the real learning happens, and the real tricks of the trade that people can impart when they are teaching in universities. So the solution to this is to ask or follow whoever has actually achieved or been through that. And there are many successful people. Follow them. Of course, don't follow every random person. Follow those who you can actually really learn from. And if you actually look for the right guidance, your chances of failing will be markedly diminished. Why do startups go for incubators, accelerator programs, so that they can learn, right? They can learn from other people's experiences. So basically, look to find the right mentor, join a peer group, join an accelerator, join meetups, go to talks, attend trade shows, especially if it's in your field. And especially if you are in the tech business, I think you need to get yourself surrounded by people who have been there, done that, right? Thirdly, which I consider the most important, is the day that you believe that a person can improve their abilities and capabilities through hard work, effort, and gain skills. That is the day that you will never fear failure, because you will feel that you are in your own driver's seat of your life. Let me give you an example. When I was developing my first mobile application, I did not know any coding. I had no technical experience, nothing at all, and I went into it. I would still, of course, say that I am not a coder or a software programmer, but I can understand and ask the right questions so that we go for the best results. So the day you understand this, the day that you realize that you can enhance both your abilities and capabilities through effort, is the day that you will look to succeed. And this is what we also called the growth mindset. And it is much more of a reminder to myself that I am talking about this. So on the day that you realize this, you just won't sit in your driver's seat. You will also eliminate that fear of failure, and you will mitigate and reduce the presence of failure in your life as much as possible. All right. So even if you fail, you will, of course, learn a lesson with every single failure. And I've failed many times, lost businesses, but at the end of the day, whatever I failed at, that has led me to learn things better, to be 3 or 5 times more as a gain for myself from any of the failure that I've had in the past. So start that degree, take that course. If you do nothing, then of course nothing will happen. And fear of failure only creates obstacles inside you that is certainly going to lead to more failures. One distinction would be not to be careless and proceed without any type of preparation, which will of course be planning to fail, which is not what we actually want, right? But definitely have a measured approach and in a calculated manner. Again, being overcautious is again not what we're talking about here. There of course has to be a bit of a balance. But if you have a morbid sense of fear and a fear of failure, I guarantee you, because you will not be able to make decisions. You will not grow much. You will, in a way, live in an average manner. And honestly, it's good if you don't want much. However, if you are contented and satisfied, then it's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, if you always think that you want to be able to afford more, that you would be wanting to influence people more or make a more positive impact on society, then I think this discussion is definitely for you. So meditate, talk about it to yourself. I think self-talk is important. Tell yourself, what if you fail? You will just try again. That's right. Trust me, everybody fails. No one, or hardly no one that I know, actually wins immediately. And of course, there are some people who may win the lottery, right? But hardly anyone is an overnight success. And even OpenAI, right? The tech startup, artificial intelligence, that everybody is seeing to be a huge success, they have been at it for at least half a decade. The thing is, people's failures are not visible to you. You only see their successes, and you don't know all the times they actually cried. They will not be crying to you over on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else. So everyone seems to think that they have all figured it out, but everyone fails in life, and you and we will also fail, and I will fail more. And hopefully I get myself back up. So bring these 3 things with you. You can really look to fight this fear of failure. And those of you who know me know much how I have struggled, how many decisions I have to make in my life and how many times I've fallen and risen. So I'm talking to you with some experience on this, and from the experience of the people that I've worked with, or from the people that I've learned from. So this was just a thought, and I hope that I did not offend anybody. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much.